a slight interruption to my video this morning. It's quite cold today. This is one of the coldest days in Thailand. It was 58 Fahrenheit this morning. It's getting down there. I mean, I was talking to my son yesterday. Praise God, had a wonderful long conversation with him, and you know, it's 30 degrees back home, 30 Fahrenheit back home, and when I was talking to him, and I told him that, you know, when I was healthier back, you know, this is going back maybe, you know, 5-6 years ago, my kind of decline started a little bit, which is normal, you know, and but before that, as long as the temperature was in like the high teens to, you know, 18-20 degrees Fahrenheit, and there wasn't any wind, any cold wind, obviously, I was comfortable in a good thick sweatshirt, you know, and I recalled some of my one of my Japanese. He's actually an American. He trained in Japan like immersively for most of his life, I think. John Vol. You can probably look him up. He wore the wooden Japanese like flip flops. I don't know what to call them, but there's a traditional Japanese shoe that martial artists would wear. It's a weird shoe. Never fight a guy wearing those weird frickin' shoes, by the way. And I used to wear my flip-flops and sandals and stuff through the snow and that, just kind of, you know, just toughening your feet, you know, just living the life, right? Anyways, now I wear socks and shoes and orthopedic stuff. That's how it goes. Anyways, okay, I broke a bunch of rules. I broke a bunch of rules the other day, but you know, and you will too. And one, it's free country, it's a free world. Do what you want. But you can break every rule I mention on my channel as long the red flags and the warnings and all that are there, just so you're aware of what you're doing. You know, the point is to be aware. I mean, not to the guys that get into trouble, break all these rules, had no idea that any of this existed, have no idea, you know, and then they really end up in, as has been well established, you can really end up hurting, right? Anyway, so in the States or here, as far as that goes, as far as your money and women goes, you can, most guys think that lose their money to somebody else that's a female romantic partner, right? That's got to be true. That's absolutely got to be true. Anyways, so yeah, I broke a bunch of rules. So, and I'm going to be very careful how I say this because the people involved are people that I really care about, hence why I broke all the rules. It's not fun or all that stuff. It's not any of that, but it's somebody here that I care about, and it's a family that I like, and you know, it doesn't matter who, okay. But I want to obfuscate that deliberately because I don't want them being outed in any way at all. That's just not fair, okay. But I want to talk about why I did what I did and how it worked out because it's a positive. Hey, it's a happy ending. No, it's a good positive story about Thailand, Thai culture, and you know, when you're dealing with. I remember seeing a 60 Minutes on this years back that the phone scammers in the U.S. really seek out and take advantage of the senior citizens back there because they're from a different generation where your word kind of meant something. I'm sure we've all had grandparents in that and people of their generation, their friends and neighbors. And geez, if one of those guys gave you his word on something, it was like a contract in a vault, right? I mean, did you ever know very many people like that? I mean, it's like, wow, you know, where'd all those people go? I mean, they all died, unfortunately, and the newer people now don't necessarily feel like that, most of them. I think it's a pendulum and it swings. Praise God, it swings. And my youngest friends are amongst my most ethical and are my most ethical, most loyal, and most honorable amongst them. I've got friends my age who are like as JD as you can possibly be. But just by and large, out of the population of people that I know, if I look to the youngest amongst my friends, and through the car club, I ended up making close friends with some people that are like right around 30 still. They're only in like around 30 years old, 29 maybe even, you know, younger than Fawn. But these are one inordinately sharp people because they can afford multiple sports cars and be modifying them. And damn, is that an expensive hobby? And they're just very good people. Anyway, so honorable and older generation, right? Great. Same thing in Thailand. You get people like, I'm always talking up Kun Pa, but he doesn't cause me any trouble. How am I to not like him? How am I to not appreciate him? He never speaks up against me. He doesn't do to anybody. He doesn't put anybody down to try to make himself feel better. There's a concept, right? How many people don't do that? Not many, right, these days? Anyway, so there are these honorable people, and there's this one family, and there's people that I know, and the mother and the father of the household are always just really honorable with me, really polite with me, always just greeting me nicely, always offering me water if I see them, if I stop by their house. It's just nice people, and then I don't give anything to them. They don't, they give me some food once in a while, and I'm friends with their daughter, who's a peripheral friend of Fawn somewhere, and it doesn't matter who, how, or where, and all that. Okay, so what did I do? So Fawn comes back to me that they have a debt. Here we go, right? And they have a debt, and they want to refinance it, but they have to pay off the other debt first to get this one. It's better interest terms. I didn't check or ask. It's none of my business. And to get the new loan, they have to pay off the old loan. They can't have too much debt and all that. And there was 200,000 baht, 6,000 US balance on the old debt. And Fawn asked if I would loan that to them. Fawn's never made a request of that size, and so it's kind of interesting. Obviously, a lot of gears were turning in my head when she was asking me about this and offering this opportunity to me to help and all that. And I thought about it carefully, and I know the people, and I've known them for a while. I've known them almost as long as I've known Fawn, or pretty darn close. And I feel, my gut just says these are good people. At this point, I feel, oh boy, I feel like I have some radar for a scammer. For example, I've got a good friend of mine here in Thailand's dating, and he's really trying to find a wife. And he is attempting to be as absolutely as honorable as you possibly can be, dating and trying to just find a nice person to share his retirement with. He says he'd like somebody kind of like Fawn. I go, I get that, and maybe you would. And we talked about, there's things he likes different than me. I think he likes a little more spice than I do, maybe a little more boring than he is. But basically he wants, so we talk about all this, and I feel like my radar is helping him, and I also everything I talk to him about, I bounce off Fawn first. Because Fawn's radar is going to be 10 times better than mine, because as an Italian woman, there's no competition. Anyway, so I feel like my radar is good, and so I go with it. And they offer me I think it's the chenote of one of their pieces of land. They have a home, and then they have like an investment piece. And the investment piece is worth probably 1,000,000 baht or something, maybe more. Probably would not be too hard to sell because it's vacant land. Vacant land is desirable. Nobody wants a house, but they'll buy vacant land, okay? So, investment tip, but don't invest, but if you're going to, at least do that. So, I turned it down. I turned it down several times, and they end up insisting that they have to give me the I think it was the chenote. I don't really know I'm not really versed in the real estate law and all but it's an official piece of paper. It's like a deed. It's a deed to their land, And so they give it to me. Now, I don't know what I could do. I asked Fawn. Fawn says, yeah, I couldn't, but she could take that to the land office and register it and then go borrow against it. And whether or not fully transferred or not, registering it, you could take a big-ass lien against it, and it'd be the family's frickin' problem, not Fawn's. There was some way you could, if you needed to or wanted to or had to, you could get your money out of that piece. That she said. Whether or not it's legal or technically it's in your name or not, I don't know, but you could squeeze it and get the juice out of it. That's all I cared about, according to Fawn. But I didn't do this to do that. I did this because I felt I wouldn't have a problem. And they asked to borrow it for up to 2 weeks, and I said, fine. What am I going to do at the end of 2 weeks, Go over there with a big stick and beat everybody, and, what am I going to do? Nothing. So, But at the end of a week, which was yesterday, they transferred the money back to Fawn, which was kind of funny, because I gave it to them. They gave it back to Fawn. And then Fawn, a few hours later, then transferred it back to me. Minus $100. She spent $100 on food because she was hungry, she said. So I got back 199,900 baht. So, yeah, like I care. But, so that was that. And then the family insisted on taking me and Fawn to dinner last night, and they wouldn't let me pay, and whatever. So fine, okay, great. So there's a time where I did break the rules. I gotta say, mea culpa or guilty or whatever, and I did that. But so why would you do that? How would you do it? One, I would recommend you don't do that. I would say don't do that. It's a general rule, just don't. If you're going to, okay, what safety precautions did I take? Not really. In the final analysis, you could say none. I mean, I have that piece of paper. For all I know, you can't register it. For all I know, they got to sign it, and it's got to be notarized in front of a judge or something to be transferable. I have no idea. And I know a couple real estate people. I mean, I have one friend who's really savvy with real estate. If I really wanted to know, I could have called and asked him, taken a photo, maybe blocked out the number of the Chinook thing, if that's what it's called, and just for privacy or something, and he texted it to him and say, hey, can I register this? Can I loan again? And he'd tell me everything. I would say he's an expert. He's made himself wealthy on his own investments in Thailand, and he's the only expat I know that's done that. Anyways, but I didn't, because I didn't care, because I'm not here to fight. I figured if I took a $6,000 loss, I'd go, wow, that was stupid. No, that was $6,000. Okay, but also though, and I made this point to Fawn, I said, I'm going to do this, but also I realized, and I'm sure you realize, that if these people don't pay me, they're going to have a big problem with me, but you're going to have a big problem. And she says, I know. But she didn't seem worried at all. I'm worth way more to her. Here's the bottom line. I'm worth way more to her than 200,000 baht, right? In fact, funny, I will say something funny about this. So I'm going to do a different video on this, but one of the scammers for my scam, the professionals, the really professional, hardcore people with a boss and a brick and mortar establishments and the whole thing, contacted me, reached out and texted me a few days ago. And I decided to answer them for certain reasons. And I decided to say certain things to them for certain reasons, and I'll cover that in another video because that's a whole long thing. But Fawn goes, well, she says that lady, that Puying, that lady that's with camera, she's my chalat. My chalat is not smart, which is a pretty big insult in Thai. And she goes, yeah, she only got such and such and such from you. She goes, I got a wall so far. Because I've spent, I'm going to be spending, so far I'm at a little over 100,000 baht on the wall for Fawn's land. And I think by the time it's all done with the ornate steel, the gates and everything, it's going to be probably 300,000 baht when it's all done. So that's like 10 grand. It's going to be like 10 grand US. It's not nothing, okay? That's well within my budget and all that. But it's way more than I thought. But when I measured the land, the trees were still up, and it was very, very thick with brush. It was very hard to see, and the property is a fair bit bigger than I thought. And that wall is, I feel like I'm building the Great Wall of China or something. It's long. It's 150, 170 meters long. It's a big, and I this is me. I ordered it tall. I ordered it like full height, tall as you can go tall. For security. It's in the video. You'll see the construction video coming up soon. It's or by the time this goes live, you'll have seen it. There's reasons why I did that, and I think it was a good choice. But anyway, so circling back to with Fawn there. So so I'm worth way more than 200,000 baht to her, and I knew that. So I knew right away that she wouldn't risk that with me, with these other people who she's close to, for lots of reasons I don't want to get into on this channel for this video today. It's not fair. So I felt safe anyways. I felt I knew the people. I felt safe. They were offering me this piece of paper, which probably you can do something with. I'll bet you can do something with it. Maybe I'll circle back and ask my friend about that, but I don't, we'll see. And, it really just kind of went with my gut with people that I knew for a long time. So that's really not very good. Honestly, not very good. So that was really just a judgment call on my part. Reminds me of a really good movie I saw. I can't remember the movie, but the line was pretty good. The one cop, the captain, police captain, I think it was talking to a regular police officer in this movie, and he goes, the difference between a cop and a criminal is, and he goes, one bad judgment call. And I thought that was interesting. That could be, I'm sure it's literally true in some cases. Now, I kind of took that to heart. That you see kind of stuck in my head. That's from like some 90s action cop movie or something. I don't remember. But somebody remembers the movie, please comment. But, I think it's true. One really bad judgment call can F you up. I've as many risks as I've taken, and I've taken a lot of unnecessary risks, and I've taken probably more risks than I really should have in my life. That has stopped me sometimes. That thought has specifically stopped me sometimes. And I don't know. This felt like it was okay, and my damage. It wasn't like there was like ongoing potential damage. It was basically the money that I loaned could not come back, and that was 6,000, and I could survive that. And it was almost worth 6,000 to know. Like if there was going to be a problem, well, damn, good to know. That's like cheaper than like what I was going to be spending with fun anyway. So if there was going to be some kind of problem, well, dang, good to know now, right? So I guess maybe that was in the back of my head too, subconsciously. Now that I think about it, but I did do that. Don't advise it. It did work out. The people were all super thankful. The mom was in, I think, kind of choking back tears when I actually went to her home and made the last transfer. I did it in 4 increments of 50,000 baht, and the last transfer I made in her living room on my phone. So to her daughter, right there, directly into her account. They read me the account number. I put it right in. They were near tears. So, but leaving there, it's like, well, my account. I saw my account. I get little notifications on my banking app. The banking here is really nice. I think it's kind of more convenient and better than what I have in the States. Certainly through my PNC account. My PNC maybe is a bit behind the times. I don't know, but my PNC banking app is pretty dinosaur-like compared to the Bangkok Bank one, which. And the Bangkok Bank one's pretty secure. I have to prove them a live photo by blinking 3 times when it tells me to while it's scanning my face to do transfers over a certain amount. I can set the increments to different amounts, but I got to prove it's me by doing that with my scanning my face. I had to go to a bank branch with a passport, with my bank book, with ID and everything, and prove it was me beyond all doubt, and sign a piece of paper, match signatures, the whole thing. And then they scanned my face, and that became my official face in Thailand. And that's the one that the computer's comparing against when I blink 3 times in a live image. So I'm sure you could fool that and all that, but your average idiot scammer girl can't get past any of that. So it's fairly good security, I think. Anyway, so I'm here at Fun's work. It's a Saturday morning. I'm surprised how many people are here. I don't like to date my videos too much, but tonight's going to be my second Christmas dinner. Going to meet a good friend of mine in the city of Kolat. Going to walk around, see some lights, sip some gingerbread lattes or some foo-foo stupid drink or something. Later on, try and find a craft beer. And probably have that killer hamburger again. And then tomorrow night, I'm staying at the Cantory tonight, the Cantory Hotel in Kolat, which is one of the absolute nicest hotels in Kolat. It's older, but it's immaculately kept. There's 1 million US dollar cars parked out front every time I'm there. Think about that. So it's obviously some pretty wealthy people think it must be pretty good too. And it's a nice place. And then tomorrow we're going to eat at the Cantory. They have a Chinese restaurant up on the top tip. And it's amazingly good food. Really nice place. Absolutely dressed nice place. Don't embarrass us collectively as a group of Falang. But it's shockingly affordable. It's not expensive. I don't know why it's not expensive, but it's killer Chinese food, like American-style Chinese, on the top of the Cantory Hotel. I think it's called the Restaurant Cantory or something. I don't know. And it's easy to find, and I can't believe it's not expensive. It's so crazy. My hamburger will cost as much, which is fine. I don't care, but surprising. So anyway, so that's my Christmas. I'm in the mood doing the Christmas stuff. It's cold and breezy. Got the scarf, keeping the wind off my throat, getting that... Still like a little bit of that flu and food poisoning in the background. And we got some big officials arriving here. And I'm glad I'm tucked off to the side, not bothering anybody. And hopefully the microphone, the sound is good today. Sound might be off a little bit. That's me. My voice is still a little weird. And I'm just going to chill and have a great freaking weekend. Everybody have a great day. Merry Christmas. Have a great Christmas. I hope your Christmas was good. By the time this is up, it'll be past by about 3 weeks. There's about a 3-week delay in my videos, which is what I need to get them edited, sorted, and in case I do get really sick or I need to go somewhere and I'm not making any videos. I want to kind of keep my content regular and up. Davo warned me about that. So I keep a 3-week backlog, so that's that. Sometimes it goes down to 2 or 10 days, but it's generally 3 weeks, so. Thanks, everybody. Channel's absolutely crushing it, and comments have all been really respectful and good. Really nice, so thank you. I'm at my happy place here, CJ's and the Auto Wash. They've set up outdoor dining. I got a bag full of beer. A bunch of cute ladies want to chat with me, but my Thai fiancé is calling, so Such is the life of a reformed Jiao Chu here in Thailand. Kidding, Puntland. Kind of in a good mood though. How about that? Merry Christmas, huh? I'm in a good mood today. I'm about to eat some mugata with Fawn and two of her friends that I really like. And kind of my first Christmas dinner. And then tomorrow I'm going to Koh Lat for 2 days. Going to hang out with a buddy and Fawn. And got a couple really nice restaurants lined up that I really like. And going to do some Christmas light stuff and all that. Christmas spirit. My name is Rob, and thank you for supporting my YouTube channel. I meant every word I just said with respect.